Now, there's also all kinds of other dramas going on. There's the main male who's got his territory. There's what's called satellite males, and they're down lower. And they're waiting. They're waiting for the main male to either chase after a female, and then they'll take over, or the satellite males will sometimes intercept the female on her way to the main male. And when you can watch the frogs, there's even a little bit of, like the wood frogs were fighting the other day. They were pushing each other. And so there's some serious drama going on down there. Like this is kind of an example of a vernal pool, though it's pretty much close to this little creek, so it's more of a from the creek. But if you were not near any kind of creek and you saw this depression in the woods with full of water, that's a vernal pool. And vernal pools are important breeding grounds for amphibians. But in March, as soon as it gets warm, they travel to these vernal pools. Even if it starts to freeze again, then they'll stay in the vernal pools until it gets warm again. They'll mate, and then they'll leave and go back underground. In some places where a road is near the forest and the vernal pool, there are hundreds of these salamanders, because they always go back to the same place they were born. These salamanders crossing. So wood frog eggs are masses of eggs with like a baseball-sized clump. And so there's a baseball-sized clump, and they're kind of all clumped together, but they're different baseball size.
I was with my older daughter once with a bunch of kids, and somebody pulled with a stick a long string of eggs.
Yes, that would be the toad. American toad is always a string. Strings and strings and strings. Yeah.
You can't see them.
No, you can't really even with binoculars right now. It's just getting too. The peepers mostly come back into the woods, and they are mostly in the leaf litter. But if they do go into the trees, it's like only to the water. Then they're a tree frog.
And they just live there.
And they live there.
What do they eat? Insects?
Yes, any of your small insects. Now it's called brumating when an amphibian brumates, doesn't hibernate, because an amphibian can't control its temperature. So as it gets colder, an amphibian's temperature will just slowly drop. Same with reptiles. And they slow down because the temperature slows down. Whereas a groundhog, it regulates its temperature, slows down, and then can warm itself back up. Not amphibians and reptiles. They thaw out or they warm up. Now most frogs, like the bullfrogs and the green frogs, will brumate in the mud at the bottom of the pond. So they'll spend the whole winter in the pond. Any of your tree frogs and wood frogs, they are under the leaf litter.
How about toads?
Toads are under the leaf litter, but they can't freeze solid.